This is Joshua Gibson, the ex-boyfriend of Danielle Marshall. The couple shared a child and had continued to carry on an affair in spite of their constant fighting. The police received a phone call from Gibson telling them that something was wrong. When they arrived, they found Marshall dead on the kitchen floor. The police immediately suspected Gibson, but they were unable to find any evidence strong enough to bring charges. For a year, Marshall's family desperately waited for a break in the case.
Let's get that out of the way. Why don't we start with, tell me what happened. Tell me what you know.
Right now, what I know is, I woke up.
Okay. What time did you wake up?
It was around 12-ish.
12-ish? Okay. So like midnight.
Yes,
you woke up?
Went downstairs to smoke a cigarette. And, girlfriend, she was, I think she was still reading a book at the time. We lived together.
Mm-hmm.
And smoked a cigarette, and I texted Danielle because she asked me if I was going to come over there to see my daughter earlier. And I had texted her, no, whatever. I asked if she was bad or whatever. She said, no, it's fine. So I was like, okay.
So she responded to you at midnight?
No, I texted her earlier.
Oh, okay.
Around like 9. Because usually at 9:30 her mom leaves for work. And that's the only time I get to see my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I texted her again at, 12 something, smoking a cigarette, she didn't respond. So she probably, she doesn't go to sleep till about 3. Because usually she'll be up texting me until I tell her I'm going to go to sleep because I usually work every day at 8. So, I texted her like 3 or 4 times. Hey, are you still up or something like that? Do you still want me to come over there or want to see it and stuff like that? Then I called her like 3 or 4 times. And for her to not respond, I'm like, okay, either she's mad at me from before, telling her no, which is the same thing. So either she's mad at me from before, she's having other company, whether it's a guy or a girl, or she might be asleep. But usually she would have her phone plugged up so her phone wouldn't die, and the alarm or the phone would wake her up and she would call me. So with her not calling, I was all right, whatever. So I just, I texted her that I was on my way over there. So go over there, whatever. This was all within like maybe 10, 15 minutes. Head over there, whatever. I'm driving my girlfriend's car, which is what's over there now. My car is, something's wrong with it. I was supposed to get it fixed tomorrow. So I go over there, and I hear my daughter crying. So I'm like, all right. So I'm knocking on the door sitting here. Her room is right here next to the door. And so I knock on the wall like I usually do, because the doorbell makes the dog start barking. And so I knock on the wall. Wait a second, because usually it takes her a minute to get up if she's sleeping. I knock a couple more times. So then I called her and I texted her a couple times. I kept knocking, and then I hear my daughter just like really screaming.
Gibson and Marshall's daughter, Eva, was only 9 months old. She was found wandering around the house, where her mother had laid dead for hours.
And usually if she's taking a shower, she takes a shower in her mother's room. And she would have my daughter in her mother's room, with her so she could hear her. So with my daughter being in her room, okay, I know she's not asleep. You're not going to sleep through that. So I think I kept calling whatever, and I even texted her, like, I'm about to call the police. If you don't come to the door, like, what's going on? I'm not sure if y'all know about what happened only 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, like, that kind of brought it up, and I'm like, all right, so called a couple more times, and I told her, like, all right, I'm about to call the police. Called 911, whatever, told them everything that's been going on. They asked if I usually go over there at night. I tell them that's the only time I go over there is at night. Usually she would give me a heads up if I should come over there. She would say, hey, I'm about to have a friend over. All right. Just make sure, I always tell her, don't allow the person around my daughter. I don't want no other man around my daughter. That's just how I feel. Mm-hmm. Or she would say, her mom's not working. I think Friday she thought her mom was going to be at work. She had texted me before, don't come over, my mom's going to be here. I said, all right, fine.
Marshall's mother did not trust Gibson. He had never treated her daughter well, and she wasn't happy that the couple were still having an affair while Gibson lived with his current girlfriend.
And so I told her yesterday I was going to come over, or I told her Saturday that I was going to come over Sunday night, being last night. So that's when she texted me at 9:30 asking, am I going to come over?
So you texted her at 9?
It was like 9:30.
It was like 9, 9:30.
Yeah, usually she'll text me or call me at 9:30 because she would be thinking that I'm already on the way.
Okay. I'm just trying to get like a little bit of a timeline, you know?
I understand.
So 9 to 9:30. Did she text you or did you text her first?
I don't know. You'd have to go through my phone.
Okay. But you're saying that she wanted you to come over tonight?
She asked me if I was coming over. I told her no, because on the weekends I do a lot of heavy lifting because it's really I work at Goodwill and it's really busy, and so she knows on certain weekends I'm like not wanting to get out of the house. But she said she understood and left it at that.
What time did you get to her house?
I don't know. You'd have to go through my phone. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Like I don't. Between somewhere around 12 and 12:30. I called her. Yeah, I called her a little bit after 12. And I never got a response from her. So about 12:30, 12:45 at the latest, I probably was at her house.
About 12:30 at the latest.
Yeah.
You arrived at the house.
And then I think it may have not been more than 5 minutes before I made that 911 call. Because I started, emotions started setting in.
And you live with your girlfriend? Is that right?
We live together, me, my girlfriend, my son, our son, and my little sister.
Okay. What's your girlfriend's name? How do you spell that? Do you know her date of birth?
Yeah, I should.
You should.
Yeah.
Or how long it's been going now?
4 going on 5 years. Okay. On and off.
Do you know her phone number?
Yeah.
So, and what's the address that you live at with her?
I don't know. Just she does all the paperwork and stuff. I know it's called.
Is that the like an apartment complex?
Yes.
Okay.
Favorite road?
Yes. Next to Osborne High School.
Okay, so how do you spell that? Okay.
Trails. And my apartment number is.
So you live with her, and how long have you lived at that address?
Since April of last year. Late April.
And who else do you live with?
My sister stays with us.
Sister? What's your sister's name? How old is she? Do you know?
She's 20.
She's 20. Do you know her date of birth? Look at you. You can see here.
92.
You didn't think there would be all these kinds of questions, did you? So she's 20 years old?
Yes.
How old are you?
24.
24. Was your... And who else?
Our son.
You and Davita's son?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's his name? Oh, that's right. How old is he?
That's a great question. 4 months.
Oh, 4 months. So
Yeah.
just a baby.
August, last day of August.
Okay. And when you woke up at, like you said, midnight, and you went downstairs, you said?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is it like a 2-story
Yes,
apartment?
a townhouse style
It's a
apartment.
townhouse, okay. And you went downstairs. Who was downstairs?
No.
No one?
I was waiting on her to get off work. She got off work at 9:30. And I was waiting for her to get off work. I was trying to go to sleep, but I had to take care of my son. My sister's in her room. Then she stayed downstairs with me until about 9 o'clock.
So when you woke up, where was...
No, we went to bed together.
Right.
Yeah, she was
okay,
in...
so she was in... So you woke up around midnight,
Yeah,
and she was in bed?
Mm-hmm. She was reading her book.
She was reading her book. So she was awake?
Yes.
Okay. So at midnight... What made you wake up?
I just wanted to lay down early. We went to bed like 11-ish together. Mm-hmm. And she said she was going to read her book, so I knew I wasn't really going to be able to sleep. And I played my little sister's Nintendo DS game, whatever. And
you were playing the Nintendo game?
Yeah, I was just to sit there, whatever, and I started getting tired, so I just took like a little nap. It was only like 45 minutes or so, 30, 45 minutes. But,
and where was your sister at?
In her room, I'm assuming. Yeah. She doesn't really go out anywhere. She has a friend whose house she goes to, but that's like once a week, 3 or 4 weeks, like once a month.
So when you woke up at midnight, your sister was in her room?
I think so, because there's a red light that shows on her room, but she has a turtle. She has this little red lava lamp, light thing that's in her room. So, you see that, and then I knew that she was in there. So.
Why does she turn it off when she's not in there?
I think so, usually. And usually she keeps her door open when she's not home, when she goes to work.
Where's your sister work at?
Kroger or Powder Springs.
Mm. What time? You said that Danielle texted you, or you texted her around 9 o'clock. She wanted you to come over tonight. What time were you supposed to go over there?
You mean as far as what?
What time were you supposed to go over there tonight?
Well, I didn't tell her until like 12. But I told her no at first, like I said.
Oh, you told her no?
Yeah, I told her I was going to go to sleep because of work. And that's when she said, okay, I understand. And let it be.
So she texted you and wanted you to come over?
Yeah, well, she just asked if I was coming over.
Oh, and you said no?
Yeah, I told her no.
Because you had to work?
Well, I got off at work at 7, and on weekends it's like really busy, so I was tired. And so I guess she understood.
So you got off at work Sunday at 7?
7, yes. Mm-hmm. We made it home about 7:30 because I had to wait for a coworker to take me home. Mm-hmm.
And do you have to work tomorrow? Do you have to work today?
Hey, Monday?
Or are you off?
Mm-hmm. No.
You off today?
Mm-hmm.
Schedule off. Okay. So when was the last time that you spoke with Danielle? Like
first face to face?
On the phone.
On the phone? Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We speak every day.
You do.
Our relationship is not the best. It's gotten better, but we still have our battles.
Right. Tell me about that conversation.
Which one?
Yesterday on the phone.
I told her about Friday. No, Thursday I lost my debit card. I was looking for my debit card because I was supposed to get my car fixed on that Friday. And so I think Thursday night when I left her house, I asked her if she found my debit card or if I left my debit card at her house. So she was like, no, she couldn't find it, whatever. So that's when me and my girlfriend started searching our cars in the house to see if we could find my debit card. And so when Saturday came, and we talked on Friday, and then we talked Saturday. Saturday, she just asked me when my new car was coming in. And I told her no later than like Tuesday. So
you talked to her Saturday on the phone too?
Mm-hmm.
And that was about what?
That was about the debit card. Because I told her I was going to give her some money for it her daughter.
And do you pay child support?
Not court order.
No court order.
No.
Did you ever find your debit card?
No. I'm waiting for the new one to come in the mail.
When were you supposed to give her the money?
I was supposed to give it to her Friday when I got paid, but I explained to her the situation as far as the debit card, whatever.
So Friday you told her that you lost the debit card?
Thursday night going into Friday.
Okay, so you lost the debit card Thursday going into Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then you called her on the phone Friday, said you lost the debit card.
Yes, ma'am.
How much money you were supposed to give her?
$200.
And you said your car broke down too?
Yes.
And that's in the shop?
Well, it's at the house now. It's a guy I work with. He knows a guy who does mechanical work. I've been talking to him on the phone for about a week now.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me I brought my car to his house and we drove around on it, told me what was wrong.
What's wrong with it?
Well, my girlfriend thought it was suspension, and he told us it was something called the bearings. I don't know anything about cars.
Me neither.
So he said it was the bearings. I asked him how much it was going to be. He said he'll charge me only $300. So I called my best friend, Shabral. He stays in Kennesaw. I asked him how much bearings would be. He said he was getting his wife's changed, and hers was like $550. So he told me it was a good deal, and I've been just waiting to receive money so I can go pay for that stuff.
Gibson planned the murder carefully and knew the timing of his car being unreliable would be perfect. Not having a fully functional vehicle would strengthen the story that he was home the entire night.
When did you talk to him? When did you ride around with him? That he told you
The mechanic guy.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to him maybe a week ago.
So your car is your car drivable?
It is, but it's really loud and you can tell something's about to really go wrong. He told me that if I drive too long, the wheel would lock up.
That's not good.
No.
Okay. So he thinks it's the bearings.
Yeah.
He's going to change that out. Okay. But did you ever talk to her on the phone Sunday?
Sunday? No, I haven't heard from her all day. Usually she would text me in the morning while I'm at work. Hey, how you doing? Ava misses you. Small talk like that. She didn't talk to me all day Sunday.
Well, no, she did because you said that she texted you to see if
until that night. That's what I'm saying. Like usually she would talk to me. She knows I go to work at 8. Usually about 7:30 on my way to work, she would text me, "Hey, good morning."
Mm-hmm.
By lunchtime, she would want to talk to me on the phone just to see, how I'm doing, whatever, and talk about, the baby. Mm-hmm. But that's what, it didn't happen Sunday. I think Saturday we didn't really talk until I got off work as well.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
She met you?
No, we haven't had any arguments in maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, tell me, I know a little bit about the incident with cops, but I want to hear your side because I don't know.
All right, I think it was like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago?
Yes. I'm not sure if I worked or not, but it was about 10 o'clock, and Danielle called me like always, "Are you coming over?" I told her, yeah. No, she texted me, "Are you coming over?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to stop at my parents' house first. I have to pick up some mail." Because I was needing to send some mail off by the next day.
Which parents live
at? It's by Hollydale Elementary.
Okay.
And I told her I was going to go to my parents' house and then swing by over there. Mm-hmm. She was all right, fine. And a little bit after 10 o'clock, she called me, and I was in the bathroom. She was like, "Hey, are you on your way yet?" I told her I'm just about to walk out the door. She was all right, I'll see you in a couple minutes. I said, cool. And she said, "Why do I have to stop at my parents' house or whatever?" I told her to pick up mail, and I think we ran out of money, so I had this free Kroger gift card for like $25 I was going to pick up so we can get some groceries. Mm-hmm. And so I hung up the phone with her on my way to my parents' house. Made some turns, whatever, and as I made another turn, a car drove past me and shot at me twice. So, I called 911, told them what happened, talked to investigators. They asked if I was in the gang, and told them no. Have any kind of issues with people, told them no. Asked if I had any drug issues, no, nothing like that. And they asked, who do I think it could possibly be? I said, it could have been Danielle because we've had our issues. We have police reports on each other, restraining order against, me, different things like that. We recently went to court and she tried to deny me of being legitimized. And after court, like after a week, she asked me if I wanted to see my daughter. And when I went to go see my daughter, I talked to a lawyer and he already showed me that I was legitimized. And I mean, that pissed her off. And that was the reason why I thought, maybe she knew, because we've already talked about it. And I told her, if I'm not allowed to see my child the way I'm supposed to, I'm going for full custody. And I've always told her that. And she would always ask me that maybe every 2 weeks or so. Are you still going to take me to court? And I would say yes. She was like, all right, well, just when you when I get served again, you're not going to be able to see your daughter until that court date again. I said, okay. And so that's the reason why I thought, it was what it was. But when the investigator talked to me, he said, he didn't believe it. I'm like, okay, well, y'all need to check her phone because she talks to a lot of guys and she really knows how to piss people off. And I don't know how they would know where my parents live or how they would even, know that I told her, I was going to my parents' house. So they was like, yeah, we think it might be just a random thing. It's okay. So, I don't know.
But do you believe that she wanted you dead?
Not anymore. Not after we've talked and we sat down and, she expressed that, yeah, we hate each other's guts. We've admitted that. Like, we can't stand each other. We're both hurt by each other. We both did each other wrong in so many different ways. We were physical with each other, in an abusive way. But as far as like really wanting to do damage to each other, no. I mean, she kicked me below the belt once, and when I went down, like she actually sat there and was like, "I'm really, really sorry." I'm like, "Well, we just got to a fight. How?"
There was no evidence to tie Marshall to the shooting. Gibson isn't interested in pushing that possibility too hard, since it might be seen as a motive.
So I do know that we care for each other, but I don't think that what happened to me is directly from her. Indirectly, maybe. I sit around and think about it. It's like, I know she pissed somebody off enough to do something like that.
So how would she piss somebody off to be able to shoot at you and try to kill you? I don't explain that.
I don't know. It's just, she has her ways. Like,
but are you saying that she would tell them bad things about you and what you're doing?
I
so
just
they
think
would want to kill you?
She knows how to lead like people on, and I don't know. She's really, I'm not sure what the word is. I'm trying to think of the right words to say. Like, I just know like she knows how to, be happy with somebody, and then if she's not happy with you, she's gonna attack you. When we were together, we were perfectly fine. We got into one argument and she hit me, and I'm like, look, I'm 6'5", you're like 5'8". That's a battle you're gonna lose every time. And I left, and that's when we broke up. And ever since then, it's all, you're never gonna see your daughter, blah blah, And that's what she does. Like, she tries to get, on Facebook, she would brag about these Facebook wars and stuff like that, and how she likes to piss people off on Facebook. And I'm like, see, that's why I don't go on there. And she tries to hurt people with her words real bad.
What's her name on Facebook? Is it her name, or is it another different name?
Yeah, I think it's under a different name.
What's her Facebook name?
It's Danny something. I can't remember.
Like Danny?
No, because I have this little Facebook page or whatever, because I was getting in contact with one of my friends, and I think she found me on there. I can go on and find out, but I haven't been on my Facebook page in months.
What's your Facebook page name?
I think it's still under Joshua Gibson.
Joshua Gibson. And you're friends with her under your name?
Well, she requested me as a friend when she had the restraining order against me.
Do you accept it? Did
you
accept it?
I wanted to see pictures of my daughter. She updated pictures.
So, what's the restraining order all about?
She got mad at me over money because I told her I wasn't going to give her money until I was able to take my daughter to my parents' house or somewhere. To this day, I've yet to even pick up my daughter. My mom hasn't seen her in like 3 months, I believe. But got into an argument, as always. She would hit me. Out of maybe the 6 fights we've had, it wasn't until the very last fight that we had where I fought back. Every other time it was, I would push her back, tell her like, look, you know I will hurt you, and I would like practically run off. The very last time is the only time I've actually fought back and made sure I made my point. But it's like
what happened?
So for the restraining order to happen, she's sitting by the door. I'm trying to walk out, and we're arguing over sex because she wanted me to keep giving her sex. I told her no. Like every time I was trying to give you that, like we would fight before or after because you'd want to be back with me or whatever. And so she would go back, hit me, whatever, slap me, and she would tear my shirt or scratch my chest or something so I can, go back home with marks on me and stuff. And so something happened when she said I threw a bottle at her or whatever. But I never threw a bottle at her. And I went home, whatever, and I think she called her mom or something like that. And her her the next day went and put a restraining order against me. And so, I followed it. And it was about 5 days later, which I recorded. She had her friend call me and I guess three-way me through her friend. And I recorded the conversation of her talking to me, telling me to come over like 2 days later. So it was like 7 days after a restraining order was put out. And I think the next court date was two weeks after we put a restraining order out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, you're violating the restraining order. She's like, no, please don't record, because I record almost all the conversations we had.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I can take this to court and you could probably get in trouble. And so, we talked about it, and she was like, just come over. And I was like, look, if my car's in your driveway, I'm going to get arrested. She was like, okay, we'll park in the cul-de-sac. So I parked in whatever little cul-de-sac. Powder Springs police actually found it and ended up calling my mom, which I never understood to this day, like why they would call my mom.
Was your car registered to your mom? Was it registered to you? Was the phone number to your mom?
My name and number. So my mom called me saying, hey, the police found your car. Where are you at? Blah, blah, blah. I told her I'd call her back. I called the police, and the lady said, we found your car. I'm like, well, I'm in like 3 or 4 houses down. Met the police. Police asked, why I parked down the street. And the 3 of us, me, her, and the baby, came out and was like, look, she has a restraining order against me. I know I'm not supposed to be here. We're trying to work things through, and, that's just what happened. She ended up dropping a restraining order the day of the court date. I went to court, and judge, I guess, was handed a letter saying that the restraining order was dropped. He asked me if I wanted to say anything. I just said no and walked off.
So you're saying that the restraining order was because you threw a bottle at her?
I think that's the statement that she made, was something about a bottle being thrown at her.
Mm-hmm. But what about the last time you said that you did get physical with her?
I did.
Well, tell me about that.
This was probably in the summer. I'm trying to think, we got into an argument. I don't have any clue what the argument was about. But we was in the living room, and she picked up a broom or whatever. And she started hitting me with the broom. And I grabbed the broom, threw it down. And I grabbed her, put her on the couch, threatened her, like, look, I will knock you out. And so I let her go, and I'm trying to go through the door. And then she runs and, she starts jumping on me, whatever. So I grab her, and I, slapped her 3 or 4 times. Grabbed her, flipped her on the floor. She has a hard, I don't think it's wood. I think it's like a concrete floor or something like that. It's a little marble floor. Slammed on the floor, whatever. Put myself on her, and she's like, get that off me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, I'm not finna sit here and fight with you, blah, blah. We're arguing, whatever. And so, get back up, my clothes are torn, whatever. And I think we scuffled another 2 or 3 times. It was like a 10-minute fight.
Gibson and Marshall had a volatile relationship. He claimed his only reason for not cutting ties was because he wanted contact with his daughter, but most of his visits consisted of spending the night with Marshall.
I went home, and girlfriend asked what happened, told her me and Danielle got into a fight, and she was like, all right, whatever. Yeah.
Did she call the police?
No. The reason being, the police told her after the fight before then, if anyone called the police again, we would both go to jail, regardless of what the issue is, because The police has been out there a lot of times between us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the reason why I actually fought back. Because I remember when she got up, I told her, I bet you won't call the police. I'm being honest with you. I know it doesn't make me look good. I'm just trying to be honest with you about everything.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just trying to figure out, what happened.
I'm not going to paint a picture of like a beautiful, we had a whole relationship.
Right. Do you own a gun?
No. I have talked to my girlfriend about getting one, and I told her, when our taxes come back, I do want to get a shotgun.
Mm-hmm. Does your girlfriend own a gun?
No. Mm-hmm.
What's your sister?
No.
What about Danielle?
No, I gave her a taser a long time ago, but because again, when I first met her, she pissed off her current ex-boyfriend, mm-hmm. and he came to the house threatening her, something like that. So like a week later, I gave her a taser, mm-hmm. but I think she said her mom took it up.
Does your mom have a gun?
Not that I know of. I know the investigators said they found some kind of earpieces or something at their house or something.
What do you mean earpieces?
They said something about when you go to a gun range, you have little earpieces or the headphones. They said they found that, and that's the only reason why they thought she had some kind of connection mm-hmm. to the whole my situation. So.
Is it what happened to the car when did the bullets hit the car?
Yeah, the bullets in the car is at her house. That's the car I was driving. Mm-hmm. But the window was shattered, the front dashboard window. Mm-hmm. I guess it ricocheted. And then there's this bullet still in the back door. So I don't know if y'all still have the bullet from the window, but the bullet's in the back door,
That would be Cobb County, I don't know.
But, yeah.
So you went to work, or you got off work at like 7:30, is that right?
Got off at 7, had to wait around for like 20 minutes.
Tell me, what'd you do when you got home?
Got home, my father was there because he had to drop off my son. Girlfriend still at work. So I got there, whatever. Friend dropped me off, coworker dropped me off. And my mom was in the house. He was in the car smoking a cigarette. Get in the house, me and my mom bickering back and forth all the time.
So your mom and your dad were at your house?
Mm-hmm. And I asked my dad how he's doing, small talk, whatever. He said, I just here dropping Junior off, whatever. So as soon as I go in the house, my mom's getting ready to go, whatever, and tells me, when last time he's fed and blah, 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 blah. And asked my sister to watch him so I can go take a shower. Mm-hmm. I go take a shower, come downstairs, and she, I think he starts throwing up or whatever, spitting up. So I grab him, take care of him, and change his diaper. And she stays downstairs with me for a little minute. I was on NFL.com looking up sports, the games for tonight, whatever. And we're talking about just random stuff. And eventually she just goes in the room. And I put my son to bed around... So I have to look at my phone because I text my girlfriend when I was putting him to bed. Mm-hmm. I was putting him to bed around 9 o'clock. Yeah, about 9 o'clock, I was putting him to bed so I can get him to go to sleep, so I can try to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. But, he kept crying, so I kept having to give him the bottle or whatever.
Okay. Was he asleep by the time your girlfriend came home?
Yeah. Because she didn't have to watch him at that time.
What time did she get home?
A little bit after 10. She got up at 9:30. Usually she would be home within 10 minutes, but she had told me that she had to go get her brother's debit card.
So about 10 o'clock, your girlfriend came home?
About 10, a little bit after
10. And you said that you texted, or Danielle texted you about 9:30?
About 9. A little bit before 9:30.
A little bit before 9:30. And then your girlfriend came home?
Mm-hmm, about 10 something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then what?
20 in the morning.
Like after she came home, what'd you do?
Talked. She had a pump, whatever, so she always pumps downstairs. Mm-hmm. So she pumped, whatever. What were we talking? Just talking about random stuff. I didn't have anything on the TV. I was listening to YouTube, listening to some songs on YouTube, whatever. And kept asking her when she was ready to go to bed, whatever. She said after she pumped, whatever. And we ended up going to bed at like 11. Yeah, about 11.
And where was your sister at when you went to bed?
She was already upstairs. She was upstairs before we got home. Yeah. Yeah, so she was in bed by like, yeah, my sister was probably upstairs probably by 9 o'clock.
And so when you went to bed at 11, did you have a TV in your room?
Mm-mm.
No. Where were you playing the video games at?
Oh, it was it's one of those handheld games.
Handhelds.
So I just brought that upstairs with me, and yeah.
And she was reading.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of book was she reading?
50 Shades.
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, I bought that for a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. And about what time do you think you fell asleep?
I only played the game for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. Yeah.
When the police checked Gibson's phone records, they matched his story, showing that he made multiple calls to Marshall. It also showed that his phone was home the entire night, which was a point that the prosecutors later used to show that Gibson intended to kill Marshall and that it wasn't a sudden crime of passion.
And you said you woke up about midnight?
Yeah, around midnight. Probably a little bit after.
And your girlfriend was up, still reading?
Mm-hmm.
And what'd your girlfriend say about you going over there?
I told her I was going. She said, all right.
She don't care.
We've had our issues with that, but after a while, she understood the only time I can go see her was at night.
Gibson's current girlfriend had more than a little problem with his late-night visits. She hated Marshall and even tried to run her over at one point.
If I haven't seen her in maybe 4 days, if it's like 12 o'clock at night, like my girlfriend would say, are you going to go see her still? And I'm like, no, it's way too late right now. And, she'll be like, all right, you sure you don't want to go? I'm like, look, I don't want to go because I don't want to come back home at 3 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though when I go over there, usually I'll sit there and watch Sports Center and just make sure I can see. I mean, that's all I really want is to be able to just see my kids. When I take care of my son, like today, I'm supposed to be home, whatever. He's going to be on the couch, and I'm going to just have the TV on and just, sit there.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, at the beginning, she hated how I had to go between 9:30 and 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
But, I would miss like a whole week, and then she would say, look, just go, That's just how we've been doing it since my daughter was born.
She didn't like it, I'm assuming, because she thought you may be cheating with her, or
she had her suspicions.
Mm-hmm. You say you've been going out with your new girlfriend off and on for 4 or 5 years, but you have a 9-month-old with Danielle.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what year it is. Wasn't last year, was it? No, he was born. So, summer of 2 years ago, mm-hmm. me and broke up. We only broke up for like maybe 2 or 3 months. Mm-hmm. And in that time is when me and Danielle got together.
How'd you meet her? Is that like you met her at that time?
Yeah.
How'd you meet her?
Job, Goodwill.
Okay. Does Danielle still work there?
Nah, she quit maybe a couple weeks, not a couple, maybe about a month or 2 after the baby was born.
Does she work at all?
No, she's going to school. So,
what's she going to school for?
She said nursing, but I don't really ask her about schooling or anything like that. I know she asked me, when I get my taxes back, will I help her as far as school? And I told her, I'll give you what I can give you, but, I've always made it clear, everything I give you is for our daughter. Mm-hmm. You know, and she does take advantage of that. She still asks me for cigarettes and to buy her food and for other little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
If our relationship's good, I'll do it. But it's been a couple of times where I'm like, no, you know. But as far as that whole school thing, she's asked me if I could give her like $2,000 with my taxes. I told her, depending on my taxes, I might give her between 500 and 1,000 at the most.
Does she get food stamps?
She gets food stamps.
Mm-hmm. Does she have any other kids?
No, we only have one together. That's her only child.
That's her only child. Okay. So tell me about her mom. Do you like her mom? Does she like you?
I never had a problem with her other than the day my daughter was born. Her mom made it clear that I wasn't allowed to see my daughter.
Why?
Because the day me and Danielle broke up, when I was with Danielle, her mom was like, you know, he's a keeper. You should make sure no matter what, you should have him, blah, blah, blah. Because, you know, I treated her right, you know. Her mom's been in an abusive relationship with her pops, you know, and it trickled down, you know, so you know how the cycle works, you know. Abuse just goes down by the family. So Danielle, every time she had a boyfriend, you know, from what I've experienced, they've always abused her. Mm-hmm. So for her to be violent towards me and I didn't hit her back, you know, I guess she saw something. And then she told her mom what happened. And her mom was like, Josh, she was wrong for hitting you, blah, blah, give her another chance, you know, that whole thing. And I mean, as a group, we were fine with each other. But the second we broke up, her mom hated me, you know, and never liked me since. Mm-hmm. I've called her after Ava was born. I've called her like twice, left her voicemails like, look, you know, we're family now. We need to get along, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And we never got along since my daughter was born.
So when you woke up, you started texting her? And what did you say?
I asked if she was up. I asked her if she was up and if I could still come through. And then I waited a second. And I think I said, hello, are you awake or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I think I texted her something else. And then I called her like 2 or 3 times. And then I think I texted her, okay, well, you know what, I'm on my way. Mm-hmm. And that's the way over to her house. I called her like 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. And I texted her something like, you know, this is why I never call when I'm on the way because you never answer anyways, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then I also asked her, you know, tell me what did I say? I put, let me know if you're with someone so I don't, you know, whatever. So I asked her, like, are you with somebody? Just tell me so I don't waste my time or something like that.
So why did you go over there if she wasn't answering?
I've done it before. And I'll knock on the door. If she's asleep, you know, I'll be like, sorry to bother you. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. Go in. She would ask me if I want something to eat, if she has some food or whatever. I ask her if she wants a cigarette or something. Or if I'm there like 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever, if my daughter's up, she'll come to the door with my daughter and just give me my daughter and we'll just sit in the living room or something. It's just how we were.
So you just went over there for no reason?
I mean, be with my daughter. I haven't seen her since Thursday.
So when you got there, tell me what you saw.
Of course I checked, make sure nobody was there, whatever. Didn't see anybody in the driveway.
How'd you check to make sure nobody was there?
Usually when her street's like this, whatever, mm-hmm. And there's a turn, and then there's a stop sign. At the stop sign, usually somebody would be parked there, and if somebody's parked there, I would go in the cul-de-sac and just turn around, whatever, and I'd call her, like, you know, is that a family member? Are you having company, whatever? So
her company would park in the cul-de-sac?
No, it would park right on the street in front of her house. Okay. So when I saw there was nobody there, I always turned my lights off because her neighbor across the street would always watch to see if my car was there. Mm-hmm. And she would call her mom, and then her mom would call her and say, you know, I want him out my house, whatever. We got called like 4 or 5 times.
By the neighbor?
Mm-hmm. And so as I'm pulling up, you know, my lights are off. You know, the parking lot's empty, or driveway's empty, so I pull in, whatever. Go, if she's awake, usually she would have the living room light on. Mm-hmm. And it was off, so I'm like, all right, she's in the room asleep, whatever. So I knock on the wall like I usually do, and didn't hear anything, whatever. I knocked on it again, and then I started texting her, whatever. Hey, I'm outside. Come open the door. Blah blah blah. Called her like 2 or 3 times, and then I heard my daughter start to cry, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I think I texted her, why is Ava crying? Why aren't you doing anything or something like that? And that's when I said, I'm gonna call the police, whatever. What happens every time you call the police or whatever. And, I couldn't see in the window because the light was off.
This was Gibson's second visit, as he made sure that his phone location was consistent with the story he was going to give the police. It was enough that, even though they were suspicious, they concluded that there wasn't enough evidence to press charges.
Called 911. The police got there.
Did you look in at all the windows?
Looked
Did you look in any windows?
Yeah, I looked in because she has a window, and then a big circle window, and then the garage.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the first window, and this is when the cops had came, whatever. First window, the blinds were down, just closed. The second window, the blinds were down, I think up top, but on the bottom there was like a little space, and I told the lady police officer, I was like, can you flash your light through there? And she had, grabbed her flashlight, looked through whatever, and I tried to look through it with her, but she, told me to back away, whatever. The third window was closed. The other window, I think, is a little higher.
The circle window?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it has a little curtain, whatever. And then...
Did you look through that window?
Before the cops got there, yeah, I did.
What'd you see?
I just glanced up and you see the light, whatever.
What light?
The kitchen light. She always kept the kitchen light on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw the kitchen light, whatever, and you couldn't really see anything, whatever. And then I looked through the garage. Garage is always dark. She never goes in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
I know that for a fact because I've been through the garage one time when I needed to get some gas, and she told me she had a gas can in the garage. And from the minute I walked through the back door, the back garage door, to the front of the garage door, because the gas can was there, I had spider webs the whole way through. So we're like laughing whatever about all the spider webs, whatever. So garage door, and yeah.
So before the cops got there, did you go around to the back of the house? Why not?
She never uses the back window, the back door.
If you're looking through the windows trying to find her.
No, because the living room's so small. The back door and front door is like right there. I never really thought about doing that.
But you couldn't see through the windows, right?
Mm.
So you couldn't see the back door through the front.
I didn't, but I mean, I think you can, but I didn't specifically see.
Right. Okay, that's it.
Other than that, I mean, I didn't feel like jumping the fence to her room or anything, which, yeah, I didn't even think to do that.
When you first got there, did you hear the baby crying?
Very first got there? Not when I first got there, it's when after I started knocking.
Knocking on?
Her, no, on the, because the door sits here and then there's a wood, like a wall where the door is, and it's like real thin, and I always knock on there like 3 or 4 times, and then she would come out.
Is the baby in her room? So when you're knocking on the window, that's when the baby started crying?
Yeah, on the wall.
So you could hear the baby through in
Yeah,
her
and
room.
that's when I after the text and call or whatever, I called the 911 operators. And I was on the phone, and I told them, like, I still hear her, like, she's really wailing right now. And they said, all right, just stay on the phone, whatever, and then they started asking me questions and things like that. Excuse me.
When you got to the house, were you worried about her? Didn't you?
I was worried about both of them.
About both of them, yeah.
As far as hearing Ava, like, it made me feel good, like, all right, she's just crying, whatever. As far as Danielle, I think I texted her, did you, you didn't leave her, by herself, did you, or something like that, because she's never left by herself. But I know, like, I've asked her, where she would be at one day, whatever, or one night, and I tell her I'm on the way, and then I would see her walking in her driveway. It would be in the house. I'm like, where are you coming from? She's like, oh, no, I just walked up and down the street. you know. But that's the only time it's ever happened. So I'm asking, I think I texted her, like, you know, did you leave her? You know, it's not you to leave her by herself or something like that. Other than that, you know, I was worried about my situation and, you know, is something happening?
What do you mean, your situation?
You know, was somebody trying to hurt me, or, you know, if it wasn't a random thing, you know, could have been somebody that she pissed off. Like, in my mindset, I felt like she pissed off the wrong dude and something happened.
So that dude wanted to kill you and her?
I don't know. You know, I'll be thinking, like, you know, I'm just sitting there thinking, you know, might be playing Xbox. I'm like, you know, you don't want to maybe hurt her, but you want her to maybe feel hurt, you know. So how do you hurt her without making her feel hurt? Either her daughter, the person she's still in love with, her mom maybe, you know, something like that. She says that she doesn't do any drugs anymore, but I don't believe it.
What kind of drugs did she do?
She smoked marijuana regular. Her mom allowed it.
You smoked?
On occasion, she told me about her usage. I know she drinks a lot, and I did receive an email from her that I was going to use in court, but I was never given that opportunity, by her saying that she took a whole bunch of pills, whatever like that, and she wanted to kill herself. So, you know, when the cops kicked me out, I'm asking the cops, you know, what's going on? You know, they said your baby's fine. I said, okay, that's fine. What about Danielle? They're like, just go outside, go outside. We told you not to be here, and then they put me in handcuffs. I said, okay, what happened? And the only thing I can think of is, okay, she wouldn't really drink by herself a lot. You know, if I'm over there, she'll get completely smashed. And, you know, then I'll tell, you know, my girlfriend, like, look, she's drunk. I'm going to be over here for a couple of more hours. And she'll say, okay. But other than that, you know, the only time she'll get, if she's drinking, she would maybe sip on a couple of Moscato or whatever she has. She would not really get smashed. So, you know, I didn't think she, like, you know, drank too much, whatever, by herself. Only thing I could think of was, okay, did she overdose on something, whether it's pen or cocaine, or did something happen to her? Like, did somebody do something to her? And I'm asking police officers, and I still don't know now what happened. Like, I've been sitting here, well, I've been detained, you know, they said I wasn't under arrest for 5 hours, and I still haven't been told anything. So I'm still thinking, okay, is it an overdose? Did something happen to her? Like, I don't know. I know it's not good. And I kept asking about my daughter, and I saw my daughter, and I'm like, okay, that's one relief. What's the next one? And then as they put me in handcuffs, you know, I knew something wasn't right, and I'm like, oh, I'm the only one here. And I just was like, all right, whatever.
So when you're sitting there knocking on the door, I mean, all these things were running through your mind, that your daughter could be left at home. Do they have a wood fence, privacy fence, or is that a chain link fence?
So it's the chain.
It's a chain link fence. Okay. But it's just like a regular, normal size chain link fence.
Yeah.
It's not a high one.
No.
So if she's not answering the phone, and your baby's crying, you didn't go behind the residence to just see? Okay.
I didn't go behind until the police officers went behind, and they went through the back door. She always keeps that back door locked.
She does?
Yeah, she always keeps the back door locked. You know, she never uses it. Only time she uses the back door, when she used to smoke weed around me, or when I would be there and she would go smoke weed, she always went out the back door.
So she'd get high in the back door?
Other than that, like, I was, you know, we'd go outside the front door to smoke cigarettes. I might change it up. It's like, hey, let's go out back. She's like, no, you know, because it's real dark. You don't see anything, whatever. And I think it's only like a small little porch, whatever, and no chairs. And she would always say, let's just go sit down. Other than that, she always kept that back door locked. And so when the police officer just went in, and the front door was locked, because I tried to open the front door, and police officer tried to open the front door, and it was locked, whatever. So police officer went through the back, whatever. And I waited, and I was asking them questions like, what's going on? And they weren't answering, and I was getting impatient, and I do apologize. And, I went through the side, whatever, where the police officers went, and I went through the back door. And that's when, they, told me to get out and handcuff me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How far in the house did you get?
Went through the back door. I was going to go to her room, but I heard my daughter in the kitchen. Because the lady cop had my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I started walking to the kitchen. And I was by the couch. I'm not sure if you've seen the area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, yeah, I was by the couch. So.
You're by the couch.
And that's when I asked her, how, what did I say to him? How's my daughter doing or something like that? And that's when they all turned around and, was like, go away.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm sorry. I raised my hands up, I'm sorry.
So did they tell you that she was dead?
Marshall was found in the kitchen, her body curled into the fetal position. She had been shot multiple times, and there were injuries indicating she had been pistol whipped.
They say how?
So we're trying to find out. I'm sorry.
I know we had a bad relationship, man. I know we didn't like each other. There's nothing in the world that will show you that we did, but we could be cool and chill. We love to laugh. I know it. And they couldn't just tell me that, they weren't allowed to tell me.
When was the last time you were in the house?
Thursday. I was supposed to go over there Friday, but she told me at the last minute that her mom wasn't gonna go to work. She told me because usually her mom works from 6 to 12 or 6 to 1. She's usually home by 2. Every once in a while I go over there at 6, but because I'm usually coming home around 6 o'clock, I would still go over there from 9:30 till 12. And when her mom calls and says that she's on her way home, we know we have an hour till she gets there, and I'm usually gone, within 10-15 minutes. But she said that her mom was supposed to work from 3 to she said her mom's supposed to go in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, and she's only supposed to go in for 6 hours. So, and I think Friday I work from 10 to 7, I believe, and so I just didn't go over there.
Mm-hmm. Did you drive by the house today?
Excuse me?
Did you drive by her house today?
When?
Today. Did you drive by the house today at all?
Mm-mm. No, I had to wait for my girlfriend to get home because she has the only car that's working right now.
It wasn't until a year later, when the case was turned over to the county's cold case team, that Gibson's claim was proved otherwise. After going over his phone records, they discovered a number called during the time Gibson told him he was asleep. Cell tower information placed the man near Marshall's house during the time of the murder.
We knew we weren't going to get back together, and she said it was okay. She understood it. I knew she kept thinking it was hope for it and everything. We couldn't be friends. I know that. Because, we'd always try to get each other jealous when we were mad at each other. She would always text me, so-and-so's coming over here, blah, blah, and, we would get each other mad, but we could sit down and watch a movie with our daughter and things would be fine. She would always brag about how we like comedy. She would always, even though it made me mad, she would always bring up my girlfriend. Your girlfriend doesn't like Kevin Hart the same way we do and stuff like that,
Were you having sexual relations with her?
Yes.
When was the last time you had sexual relations with her?
It's being recorded.
Yeah.
It's my girlfriend.
Not that I know of. I'm not going to tell her.
Probably Wednesday or Thursday.
So that was the last time you saw her face to face?
But actually seeing her in person was Thursday. After I went bowling, or I go to the bowling alley every Thursday to see my best friend bowl. He's on leave, whatever. And after bowling, I went to her house.
Where'd she get her dope from?
Friends. I know she gets her from this dude that I don't like. I don't know his ass. I know they're friends on Facebook. I can't stand them.
Why can't you stand them?
Because when she was about 4 months pregnant, I told her, slow down on cigarettes, wean yourself off, it's not good. And I want you to kick weed completely, And I think it was one day I went over there, and the Terrence guy was in her car with her. And, I'm looking out of the car, and so Danielle comes out, whatever, and I smelled it. I'm like, are you smoking? She told me no. I said, that's bull. You're not going to be sitting around with marijuana, not smoking. She said, no, and I smell the hair. It smells like weed. I'm like, so we get in an argument. I told him he needed to leave. And he looked at her, and I said, no, dude, you don't leave right now. I'm going to knock your ass out. And, he would say something to Danielle, and Danielle would just tell him to leave, and he would drive off. And there was 3 or 4 more incidents where I would see him at the house, and I told her, I don't want him over there. He's giving you marijuana, and you're 4 months pregnant. There's nothing else that he can possibly do to win any kind of, I'm not even trying to be friends with the dude, but any kind of respect. It's just not happening.
When was the last time she bought dope?
I don't know. She kept telling me that she kicked it, but she had those pills that I guess clean your system. She would have those at the house, whatever.
Why would she keep those at the house?
Job interviews.
She looking for a job?
She told me she was doing the applications. Of course I've never seen them, whatever, but she would ask me if, my store was hiring. We used to work at the same store. Right. But because we had drums at the store, I had to transfer. And she asked me if there was opening at my store, and I told her there's no way in the world I'm trying to get you to come back, with me. It's not happening. But this guy is probably the first person she would go to for a week.
Who else did she buy dope from?
Honestly, everyone. This I don't know their last names. She just tells me first names. She doesn't even keep them recorded in her phone. Reason being, I used to take the numbers from these dudes, and I would just keep a list of the names and the numbers, and But like, so who you want to see, blah, blah, like, we would be in each other's business constantly.
When was the last time she got caught?
I know, let's see. I know she used it sometime in the summer. Reason being, I went over to her house, and she said she was inviting some friends over, two guys, whatever. She told me she wanted me and my daughter in her mom's room, which we went in her mom's room, whatever, and laid on her mom's bed and watched TV, whatever. And her and the two dudes were in the living room, and she came back, she was high, so she been smoking. She said no, and, smoke, whatever. And something happened where she got into an argument with the two guys, and they were like hitting her or something like that.
She got into an argument with the guys?
Mm-hmm.
The guys that were selling her the coke?
They were all, I don't know if they sold it to her or, cause the two guys were smoking her. I know she snorted it.
Mm-hmm.
And,
was this at her house?
Yes. And, after they had left, I think they got into an argument and she made them mad, or they made her mad, and so she made them mad again. And then they ended up leaving, and she ended up going to bed, and she passed out like real fast, and she was gone. And I stayed over there for like 4 hours or so.
Who were these guys?
Ex-co-workers of hers at her job.
What are their names?
One was Jeff. He's some tall guy, coincidentally. And the short guy, what was his name? It wasn't Tim. I don't remember the other guy's name.
So they were over with you and her partying?
I wasn't. I was in her mom's room with my daughter. It's been maybe 4 times when we would do that.
When was the last time you got high with her? When was the last time you got high?
I don't get that. I don't smoke.
Well, you just said that you would do that 4 or 5 times with her.
No, I would go over there and watch my daughter while she gets with her friends.
Okay.
Like, she would say, Josh, is okay if so-and-so comes over. I'd tell her, I don't want that person around my daughter. She'd say, all right, well then, take it to the other room. There's been once where she was about to allow me to take my daughter to my mom's house, but then right when I got dressed, she just said, no, just take her to the other room. It was like 4 or 5 times where that's where I would take our daughter to her mom's room, and she would be in the living room with her friends or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something about that. I can submit a drug test. I have no problem with that. I just had one for my forklift at my job. So I have no problem with that.
How many times a week did she party? Did she have friends over?
Recently, 0. This has been all in like the summer.
What made her stop?
I know she kept saying that she wanted to get into a serious relationship. She was trying to get out of this whole party girl lifestyle, whatever. And because I know she stopped going to clubs. When my daughter was born, I think she went to a club like maybe 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. In like the last 9 months or so.
Under the guise of grief, Gibson tries to portray Marshall as someone reckless, surrounded by people who might do her harm. Coming from Gibson, the police take this with a grain of salt.
But she said she was trying to get into a serious relationship and find somebody to make her a wife and all this other stuff.
She dating anyone else now?
I don't know. She said she was supposed to go on a date this weekend.
With who?
I don't know. She wouldn't tell me. She said a friend was hooking up with some guy. Mm-hmm. This was supposed to be the date on Saturday. And on Friday, she said that somebody wanted to take her out, but she wasn't attracted to him. Mm-hmm. So she was at home because, we text each other while she was, then she watched the movie both nights with her mom. Mm-hmm. So she would text me, hey, I can't talk on the phone, but I can text you. And we would text, whatever.
Who's your best friend?
Best friend? Other than her cousin. I forget what the other girl's name is.
So what?
I don't know. I never really get last names from her.
Who else is close to her? Cousin? And who else?
A girl named.
Who else?
Another girl named this, but she pronounces it Kate. I'm not sure if it's spelled differently. A girl named she has her name labeled on her phone, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another girl in her phone that she talks to, and is a really close friend of hers. We don't like each other either.
Okay.
Just never liked each other. Danielle's like opposite of what I am. You know, she's the party type. I'm more the stay at home. She smokes and drinks. I might have a beer once a month, you know. And her friends are all like her, whatever. So her friends would ask, you know, why don't you invite Josh to come smoke, whatever. And she's like, no, Josh doesn't smoke. And so I guess they looked at me different for that, whatever. But I never got along with her cousin and her best friend. I think we've been, what's the word? We can say hi to each other, cordial. You know, we can be cordial to each other, whatever. But we never had like a liking for each other.
Is there any reason why none of these people like you?
Whatever she tells her friends.
What do you think she tells them?
That I'm a bad father. I know she's always been pissed off at me because we never worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Just our problems. You know, friends are always gonna stick with friends other than tell you that you're wrong.
Right.
You know?
What else do you want to tell me?
Right now, this guy is what I'm worried about. It's an old boyfriend of hers. I know
The one that she buys.
I don't know if she buys.
You'd mentioned it.
You sold it to her.
Okay.
Is it the same guy?
It's the same guy I'm talking about, but I'm not sure. Because I know they smoked before. But as far as selling it to her, I'm trying to mention everybody I know she smokes with. I recently met him once, maybe 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
She asked me to come over because she wanted to hang out with you. She wanted me to see or to take care of her. So I was in the room with, in Danielle's room, and her and out on the porch, between the porch and the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they were talking about he wanted to know why I'm here, blah, 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 if we're having relationships still, blah, blah, blah. And she would tell him no, because she was trying to rekindle what they had going on from like years back.
What does he look like?
I've seen him once. Average height.
Mm-hmm.
Not dark skin, beard.
Dark skin, beard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said not really dark skin.
Like a medium skin.
Yeah, and a beard. You know, wears the hats and baggy clothes and stuff. You know.
Yeah, with tattoos or anything.
Not that he had like a sweater, like a jacket on, like a pullover jacket or something like that, like a hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
But that happened on on whatever day it happened. The next day, I was already over there, and the guy and another one of his friends had stopped by her house, and I was already over there. And so I'm on the porch smoking a cigarette, and I see the car pull up, and so he calls her, and she comes out the door. She's like, Josh, don't get into a fight, blah, blah, blah. They're mad because you here, and da-da-da. And so she made me come in the house, whatever, and I guess she talked to them too, whatever.
So who do you think would want to hurt her?
The police questioned Marshall's family and friends, but were unable to find anyone who might have a motive.
Honestly, all the guys that are on her phone, everybody except for the dude. I mean, they're actually friends. But she has this reason. There's a dude named that she was with for a long time. He's actually been abusive to her. And it's like a big triangle, like, and her have been dating. They broke up and all this other stuff. And then the person that he cheated on Danielle with is his girlfriend now. But Danielle and that girl are friends now. Her name is that's one of the where it is. She's the girlfriend of that Jesse, and they've been talking for like the longest now. Like it's one big circle of like, small arguments here, conversation, gossip, and stuff like that.
So you'd want to kill her?
I don't know.
And what would she do to somebody to piss him off that much? If they'd want to kill her.
I don't know. Like we haven't really talked about relationship stuff lately.
You talked about it. I mean, you talk to her every day.
Yeah, but as far as like, I would always say, who you talking to now? Oh, just some guy. Anything serious? No, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the last maybe month, we've had a really decent relationship. But I don't know.
But you talked every day?
Just the same small talk. How are you doing? What's up? What do you got planned today? Work? What about you? I was just sitting home with it. Are you coming over tonight? Yeah. What time? Probably like 10 or whatever. Can you grab me a beer and some cigarettes? Sure. Can you grab me something from Checkers? Sure.
So what time would you usually go over there?
It's no time. At the earliest 9:30. On average, it's a little bit after 10. Reason being, my sister usually gets off work at 10:15, and on most days, I would wait to pick up my sister first. Then I'll go over there. So a lot of times it'll be between 10:30 and 11 o'clock when I would go over there. Yeah.
What does your girlfriend do?
She's a customer service manager at the Walmart.
What's your sister do? You said she works at the Kroger. At the Walmart where?
The newer one not the one on the actual East West.
Oh, the new one by
close to Danielle's house.
Oh, the one right on there on the East-West connector?
The intersection of East-West and
Gotcha.
Yes.
And which Goodwill do you work at?
We used to work at the Powder Springs one together, and we had issues, and they asked me if I wanted to transfer.
So for any reason, sorry, I've got a warrant to take your clothes. So for any reason, would I find any of Danielle's blood on your clothes?
My clothes? No.
Okay.
Like at home here?
What do you mean?
Like you need my clothes now?
I'm gonna take your clothes. Yeah, I have a search warrant for you.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Okay. So I'm just asking. Am I gonna find any blood
No.
on the clothes?
No.
Okay. No, for any reason.
Gibson had walked home from murdering Marshall before returning to stage the discovery of her body and had plenty of time to dispose of the clothes.
Oh, I mean, am I in trouble for anything? I know I was there.
No, I mean, you see why I have to do that, right?
I know. I'm a little worried about this right now.
I'm not accusing you of anything.
I know you're just trying to. Yeah.
Right, I gotta find out some facts.
That's fine.
Right? I mean, you want to help me find out who did this, right?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. You need to grab her phone.
Yep, I will get her. I got her phone.
And her laptop. She goes on Facebook constantly.
Constantly.
She has a Twitter account. She doesn't really go on there a lot. I recently asked her because I heard of something called Instagram. I'm not a big media site, media person, kind of person, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her, she had an Instagram, and she told me no.
Mm-hmm.
But she goes on Facebook 100,000 times a day. So go on her Facebook, whatever. Facebook, Twitter. She started recently using Twitter.
Mm-hmm. What else?
I hate to say it. She watches a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
It's okay.
And hip hop star, world star hip hop or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Facebook, Twitter, and her cell phone. So
Did she like to have rough?
Hmm?
Did she like to have rough?
If the occasion was called for it, yeah.
You tell me about that time. Did you have rough sex with her?
Here and there.
And like, how would that happen?
I mean, I don't know what I gotta talk about. I really don't want to find out.
I'll come watch this tape.
She would call me or whatever and say that she would want to do some role playing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This was when she was like 3 or 4 months pregnant, And she was like, I want you to like take advantage of me, whatever, and rape me, blah, blah, blah. So like, the night that we scheduled to do it, whatever, I came there, I wore like all black or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I answered the door, she had on this little lingerie piece. She was like, hey, how can I help you? And we like role played and whatever. But other than that, like we never rough like in hell.
Oh, the police were called to the house one time.
Police were
Do
called.
you remember? You remember telling the police you saw the story?
As far as what?
As far as she said that you wrapped your hands around her throat.
Yeah, I remember her saying that. Yeah.
What happened that night?
Argument. She hit me. I left, and police called me and said, to come back there, and I came back.
And what'd you tell them?
I told them we argued. Like I said, we've had incidents.
Did you tell them that you put your hands around her throat?
No. Mm-mm.
Was she lying when she said that?
Yes.
And what did you tell the police?
I told her we argued, and she got mad at me. There's like maybe 2 or 3 times when she hit me, and I would just walk off, or we would just argue, and I would leave, and she would call the cops.
And according to the report, it said that you were having rough sex with us. Why?
I would like to see that report because I have all the police reports that I filed.
You don't remember ever telling the police that?
I don't remember, no, man.
Would you say that she was more aggressive towards you? She always started, that she hit you first?
Yes.
Must be at my desk. Right now. That's what you said. That's what the report says.
Well, I know one of the first reports was written wrong. It was an incident we had at the job, whatever, where it said that I said that my girlfriend hit her with the car, and I never told the police that because the police specifically asked, how close was it? Was it close enough to hit? And I told them, no, it wasn't close enough to hit because if you hit someone with a car, they're gonna jump.
Oh, she said that you hit her with a car?
Danielle stated that my girlfriend hit her with the car, with her car.
Your girlfriend.
Yeah. And the police report states that I said that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got the police report, I looked at it and was like, that's not what I said.
Mm-hmm.
So
When was that?
That was when she was first pregnant. 2 summers ago.
And that was when you worked at a Goodwill? That was in the Goodwill parking lot?
Powder Springs, yes.
Powder Springs parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Was anybody arrested at that time?
No, we've never been arrested on any of our incidents.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
Has Danielle ever been arrested?
Jeez.
For what?
A hit and run, and she had like an assault charge. Well, I've seen the hit and run report because I looked her up online when she told me she's been arrested. But I seen the hit and run one, and I asked her if she'd ever been arrested again, and she said she had like a assault charge against her father. Something about her and her father arguing, and she pulled out a knife or something. I don't know if it's true or not because, like I said, I've never been able to find it.
Did she ever pulled a knife on you?
Yes.
What kind of a knife was it?
A little kitchen knife.
Where'd she get it from?
The kitchen.
Did she stab you?
No. She never came to me. She just pulled it out, whatever. Told me to get out of her house, and I left. And as soon as I left, she comes out the door. Josh, come back. Let's talk. Blah blah blah. That's how our arguments always were. She would argue whether we scuffle or not. I would leave, and as soon as I get to the door, she plays victim. It's like, Josh, come back. Let's talk. Whatever. Or if I would not listen to her and go home, she would call me and say, hey, let's talk. Just come back over. And I'd say, no, we can talk on the phone. She would just come back over, whatever, and I'd go back over there and we'd talk, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Did she keep any weapons in the house?
No, not that I know of. I know it used to be like a knife by her nightstand for a long time, but that's because she was real paranoid at night. She always told me she hates being there at night by herself. She hates her mom working the night shift. And I know that's one of the reasons why she always asked me to stay longer. If I'm there from like 9:30 to 12, she would always say, like, just stay till 2, stay till I fall asleep, blah, blah, blah. She would say, I'll give you a key, whatever, just go ahead and go. I was like, no, I gotta go back to my family, blah, blah, blah.
When questioned, Gibson's girlfriend confessed to hitting Marshall with her car. At the time of the murder, she was shown to be at work or at home, and there was never any evidence that she was involved in Marshall's death. The man that the police located through Gibson's phone records broke under questioning. He had received a call inviting him to spend the night with Marshall and Gibson. Things didn't seem right when they arrived, and the man ended up waiting while Gibson went inside. He suspected what Gibson had done, but was too afraid to come forward. Joshua Gibson was charged with murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm in the commission of a crime. He initially pled not guilty, but changed his plea to guilty at the end of the trial. In a shocking move, he backhanded a member of his defense team and was removed from the courtroom. He was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Shortly after he was placed in prison, he flung himself over a second-floor railing and died from a brain bleed.